My beloved child, I will not let you rest while that door remains ajar, for when the first light of tomorrow dawns, something sacred will gently brush against your destiny. Rise with a ready heart, for I am preparing something no one else can fulfill but you. You have wasted too many mornings on meaningless things. Too many opportunities I gave have vanished like smoke because of the hesitation in your heart. If you continue to delay, a heavenly gate will close, and this time it will be closed forever. I have seen the struggle within you, the tension between what I've called you to do and what feels comfortable. But child, the morning of tomorrow does not wait for comfort. It demands obedience. I have already prepared the atmosphere, the hearts, and the timing. Only you remain, and hesitation is the one thing that can unravel it all. You are still waiting for more signs, more confirmation, a little more courage, but you need nothing more. I have already given you enough. It is this baseless waiting that causes destiny to slip through your fingers like sand. Some opportunities do not come twice. Not because I retract my promises, but because the time has been sealed by my own hand. If you do not step into tomorrow with a spirit of obedience, nothing will happen. Delay does not simply waste time, it disrupts the flow of heaven. It causes those I've sent to help you turn away. It postpones the very things your heart longs for, not because of me, but because of your disobedience. So do not say, I will start tomorrow, for that tomorrow may no longer belong to you. Child, I long for you to understand this with your whole heart. There are moments in life that I allow only once. Not because I am stingy with you, but because those moments were set apart before the foundations of the world. Each day you live is not merely another day, but a link in the chain of destiny I have woven. If you skip a link, the whole spiritual movement is disrupted. I know you're tired. I know sometimes you're afraid. But you must not dismiss a morning just because it begins like any other. What may feel like today to you might be a divine appointment in my eternal timeline. As I declared in Ephesians 5:1-6, redeem the time, for the days are evil. I don't want you to chase time, I want you to step into mine. You keep thinking you'll have another chance, that when you're stronger, wiser, braver, then you'll act. But child, the moments I appoint are not aligned with your readiness, they are aligned with my perfect will. If you keep waiting for just a bit more, the opportunity will pass. Not because I changed, but because the time no longer fits. Just like the finest seed, if sown out of season, will perish, so too a mighty promise received at the wrong time bears no fruit. I don't want you to live in the sorrow of what could have been. I want you to learn to recognize when heaven opens and have the courage to step in, even if your heart trembles. Some mornings you wake feeling ordinary, but in truth it is a sacred morning. A moment that seems unremarkable may carry the mission that will change the entire course of your life. I may awaken you with a dream or a fleeting impression, something you often overlook as small. But know this, I rarely speak in storms. I often come in whispers. And if you are not still, not sensitive, not open, you will miss what was prepared just for you. The door will no longer open as it once did, and you'll circle around again wondering why breakthrough never came. My dear one, here is a truth I want you to inscribe on your heart: not every invitation from heaven repeats. Some callings echo only once in a lifetime, soft, subtle, unassuming, yet carrying the weight of destiny. If you do not step out when it arrives, the door will close, not as punishment, but because the time has passed. I am a God of mercy, yes, but I also move in the fullness of appointed times. When you hear my voice, what is required is not full understanding, but immediate response. As I said in Hebrews 3:1-5, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. You often think there will be another day, another chance, another opportunity. But child, not all days are marked equally in heaven. There are mornings I've set apart, written in golden ink in the books of glory. They do not repeat days that if you fail to enter, I must continue the story in a different direction. Not because I've stopped loving you, but because the invitation was bound to a window of time I alone established. If you miss it, you may never know what was lost, only feel a nameless emptiness in your spirit. I see you wrestling between tomorrow I will and today I must. But hear me gently say this: The one who chooses tomorrow believes time is theirs. The one who walks by faith chooses today, knowing the future belongs to no man. If you truly believe I am the one speaking, why do you delay? If I am Lord of time, why do you keep pushing things into a future that isn't yours to hold? You cannot control the rhythm of heaven. You can only obey or miss it. And not all missed moments come with pain, but they leave a void that nothing else can fill. Beloved, treasure the today you have been given. Do not let the thought, just a little longer, become an unconscious farewell to what I long to give. I do not force your steps, but I am earnestly calling. I am not casting you out of safety. I am calling you into the place where grace is waiting. Trust that I know when your heart is ready, when the time is ripe, and when your actions will touch spiritual frequencies that cannot be shaken. But if you continue to wait, the calling will become a memory, and all that remains will be the echo of what once could have been the beginning. So if tomorrow morning you feel a stirring in your heart, do not delay. If a word, a thought, a feeling brings me to mind, respond. Do not wait for perfection, for the most perfect thing you can offer is obedience at the moment I call. One timely yes can open up an entirely new life, while one maybe tomorrow can close a destiny long prepared. Tomorrow morning, child, may not be just another dawn. It might be the last morning I wait for you at that place. My beloved child, you have wept before me in the secret place. You have trembled in the night when no one knew how tangled your heart had become. You have whispered desperate prayers from the depths of your soul, pleading for me to speak, longing for my guidance, and now I am speaking, I am answering. Not through storms, not with thunder, but with a voice as gentle as breath moving across a heart that still knows how to feel. I am leading you. But are you listening? At times you've waited for a miraculous sign, yet overlooked the quiet trembling in your spirit. You've hoped for a clear answer, but ignored the subtle urgency growing within you. I don't always speak through grand displays, but I always speak. And tonight you are hearing me more clearly than ever. Not because your circumstances have suddenly shifted, but because your soul has been refined to recognize the divine, even in what seems ordinary. My child, I see you wrestling with fear, not loud, frantic fear, but a quiet, deep fear cloaked in careful consideration, disguised as wise planning. Yet I see it for what it is, a spirit that does not come from me. I did not give you a spirit of hesitation or a soul torn between faith and doubt. I gave you power not of your own, but from my living presence within you. I gave you love, a love not based on circumstances, but flowing from the heart of a father once broken for mankind. And I gave you a sound mind, a wisdom that transcends human logic, surpasses emotional limits, and sees beyond what the eyes can grasp. Tonight you must not allow the last remnants of fear to cross the threshold into tomorrow. For that tomorrow, child, is not just another day. It is an appointment, a moment preordained in heaven. A great gate once sealed for many seasons is beginning to move. Can you hear the hinges groaning? It's not a physical sound, but a resonance in your spirit aligning with the call of destiny. I allowed that door to remain shut for a season, not to punish you, but to protect the treasure I was forming within. In the darkness, through what felt like wasted years, I was shaping your heart, teaching you endurance, teaching you to wait, teaching you to wield silence as a weapon. And now, as maturity begins to bear fruit, I come and say, arise. The door will open, but only when you step. Do not say you're not ready. Do not look at yourself and feel too small. Do not let old failures convince you that they can undo my choosing. I knew every limitation before I called you. And knowing all, I still chose, still loved, still entrusted. Because in my eyes, you are not a victim of your past. You are a vessel for a future I've already declared. You don't need to know exactly what to do. Don't wait until your mouth is full of words before you dare to speak. Open your mouth and I will fill it. Step forward and I will reveal each step. Boldness does not come from being ready, but from believing that I am ready to go with you. And I promise you this, I will meet you in your movement. This is no longer the time for safety. It is not the hour to return to comfort zones. It is not the season to gather opinions in search of confirmation for what I've already made clear. I do not call you by the applause of man, but by the anointing of heaven. You need no one else's validation when you have already received my commissioning. My spirit is upon you, child, not will be, but is. Not someday, but now. What I've placed inside you is not a vague dream, but a sacred assignment. I am awakening what once seemed dormant. I am reviving visions you once wrote down and tucked away in drawers. I am stirring up the courage that has been buried under the dust of old disappointments. You lack nothing. I have prepared everything you need. There is no path you will walk that I haven't walked ahead of you. No challenge will come that I haven't already accounted for. You may not see every turn, but I see the entire map, and I never command without giving the grace to complete. You ask me, how will I know it's your will? And I answer, because it still burns within you despite every attempt you've made to extinguish it. That is the call that refuses to be silenced, the dream that will not die. That is my sign to you that my hand has never lifted from your life. Tomorrow morning, child, is not just a new day. It is a spiritual moment, a sacred appointment marked in heaven. But that door will not swing open on its own. It waits for the footsteps of faith. And faith doesn't need every piece of proof. It only needs a single word from me. You already have that word. Now all that remains is action. Do not look around for agreement. Do not wait for emotion to rise. Do not depend on the feeling of enough. Fullness doesn't come from feelings, it comes from presence. And I am here with you. So walk not in haste, but with resolve, not in your own strength, but by my spirit. My beloved, if you step, a river will part. If you speak, a gate will turn. If you believe, a destiny will shift into motion. I don't say this to pressure you, but so you'll understand the weight of this moment. You are no longer the bystander, you are the chosen one, foreknown, anointed. And if fear still lingers, remember, I never required you to feel fearless. I only ask that you don't stop, for in each trembling step I will infuse strength into your bones. In every hesitant word I will breathe heaven's breath. And with every act of obedience I will awaken a realm of glory you've never seen. So when this night gives way to dawn, you will no longer rise as just another person. You will rise knowing I was there before you. I have been waiting for you. And everything I promised I will fulfill, but only if you will walk. Tonight lay fear to rest. Set doubt aside. Silence the voices of the past, and open your heart to my call. For a new day is coming. And child, if you walk by faith, it will not simply be a new day. It will be the beginning of a new era, my beloved child. Just sit still for a moment and let your soul be quiet. In every pause I am whispering. In every anxious heartbeat I am reaching. You once pleaded for me to speak, poured out your tears in prayer for direction. And now it is I directly, not through any mediator, who is speaking to you. Not with thunder nor through dazzling wonders, but with a gentle word heavy with power straight from my heart. Are you listening? Can you sense the urgency vibrating within your spirit right now? This is not a fleeting feeling. This is a call, a command from heaven. I know you have lingered long in the land of delay. You've hesitated many times, not out of rebellion, but because you feared ruining something important. You thought waiting for certainty was wisdom. But child, in my kingdom, faith often looks like a first step into the unknown. No map, no guarantees, just a calling and a trusting heart. And you've grown enough to know fear is never faith's companion. It is a saboteur silently draining your courage while wearing the cloak of reason and the robe of caution. But I did not give you a spirit of fear. I placed in you power to stand, love to move forward, and a sound mind to discern. Don't carry the remnants of fear into tomorrow. Don't let it lurk like a haunting whisper, making you hesitant where I'm calling you to step boldly. Tomorrow morning is not just another morning. It is a crossroads, a turning point of destiny, a day already recorded in heaven's books. Not because you will do something great, but because you will say yes to what I have already prepared. A door long shut through many seasons will creak open, not by your strength, but because my hand is moving. But that door won't open if you simply stand and stare. It opens when you step forward in unwavering trust. Don't look at yourself through the eyes of others. Don't measure your readiness with the standards of this world. I knit you together with my hands. I know you better than you know yourself. You think you're not strong enough, not holy enough, not big enough, but I never waited for your perfection to call you. I called, and that calling is what enables you. Don't ask me what to do. Begin to walk, and I will place words on your lips. I will send wind behind your back, light each step ahead. I will meet you not where you analyze, but where you move. This is not the time to seek consensus. This isn't a poll nor a stage for impressing others. This is obedience, simple, unpolished, yet powerful like an underground river. If you dare to follow this call, you will witness things long held back suddenly burst forth. Rusted gates will swing open, dreams once thought dead will breathe again. Not because you did something mighty, but because you chose to trust the one who is. Never underestimate the weight of a small decision. One step in faith, just one, can tip the scales of eternity, can alter the course of a generation, can ignite a series of events far beyond your comprehension. But none of it will happen if your eyes remain fixed on comparisons, on external noise, or on the image of destiny you built in your mind. I'm calling you to turn your gaze to me and me alone, not to become someone else, but to return to the image I designed. You think you've fallen behind, but no, you are right on time. I have written every page of your life, and not a single line is meaningless. Now I am pulling back the veil, letting you glimpse what I am about to do, not to scare you, but to shape you, because the storm will come not to destroy you, but to refine you, and if your eyes are on me, you will not be shaken. For I am not just beside you, I am in you, I am working through you. You are not a tool of wood, you are a vessel of gold, set apart for noble purposes in my house. Remember the journey so far, child. Remember how when you fell, I lifted you. The nights your pillow was soaked in tears, I gathered every drop into my heavenly bottle. The words you whispered in loneliness, I heard every one. Not a single sigh went unnoticed. Not a single crack in your heart escaped my sight. And if I was faithful with the small, why would I abandon you in the greater? Tomorrow I will place someone in your path. At first, nothing about the moment will seem divine. But don't look with natural eyes, see, with the ones I've trained in the dark. That conversation will carry life, and if you speak what comes from me, you will release what I intend over that person's life. I will give you words not eloquent, but right. I will give discernment not to judge, but to love rightly. I will pour out grace not to lift your head in pride, but to bow in service. This is not the time to play religion. This is the moment heaven is leaning close to earth. Events you cannot see are being set in motion. My arm is extended, my heart is wide open, and I am searching for the willing, not the perfect, just the willing. I don't need you to understand the whole plan, I just need you not to resist the first step. For that one step will begin a movement you never imagined. A silent shift will swell into a mighty wave sweeping through countless lives. And child, do not despise yourself. What I'm doing through you will be recorded in the books of eternity. Do not think you are too small. In my hands, even the smallest things can shake the heavens. So prepare your heart tonight. Turn down the noise. Walk away from what distracts and unsettles you. Let go of the expectations you placed on me and receive what I'm actually giving. Offer me your yes, even if it's a quiet, trembling, unsure one, because that obedience is the mark that you are mine. And as you walk, I will be there every step, every breath. There is nothing you will need that I have not already prepared. Nowhere you will go that I have not gone before. For I do not call to abandon, I call to guide, to accompany, and to fulfill. And now, child, this is the moment that won't return. The moment where obedience can break every wall that has held you back. The moment when you don't just exist, but begin to live exactly as I created you to. So say, "Here I am, Lord," and let heaven write the rest of your story, a story authored by me and lived fully by you. My beloved child, if you are still awake at this hour, it is not by accident. Perhaps your mind is spinning with questions, silent fears, or the vague sense that something is shifting, yet just beyond your grasp. Be still for a moment. Let me speak to you not through thunder but through the whisper of eternity. For right now, in this very moment, I, your Creator, your Father, am closer than ever before. You have cried out for my guidance many times. You have shouted into silence, pleaded through dark nights when no one saw, and I, your Father, have heard. I have not ignored your tears. I have not overlooked the small offerings you've brought in the midst of the storm. But child, there is something you must understand. Not every prayer is answered with an instant miracle. Sometimes heaven's reply arrives cloaked in heavy silence, not because I am distant, but because I am working deep within you. Now it is I who speak to you, not through human logic, not through the shifting winds of emotion, but through timeless truth. I am leading you not by a blazing light, but by a sacred certainty, nestled deep within your spirit. Stop seeking external confirmations. Learn to recognize my voice among 1,000 echoes. You don't need thunder from the heavens, just a heart that bows in stillness will know when I speak. Do you feel it? That gentle urging light as breath, yet powerful, like an endless current. That is me stirring within you. I do not shake my own with noise. I move them through patience, gentleness, and faithfulness. Right now I am knocking on the door of your heart, not with force, but with an invitation, and you must choose whether to open it. Obedience is not found in grand declarations, but in the quiet, brave steps taken even when the path is still unclear. My dear one, I know there is still a trace of fear within you, a bit of hesitation hiding behind seemingly logical reasons. I'm waiting for confirmation. I need more time. I'm not ready yet. But behind all of that lies a whisper of fear, a fear that has seeped into your thoughts and is holding you back from what I've prepared. That fear does not come from me. I did not give you a spirit of trembling, of confusion, or defeat. Those are shadows trying to keep you boxed in until opportunity slips away unnoticed. Let it go, child. Tonight. Don't wait another moment to step out of that shell. I have given you power, not temporary strength, but divine authority to overcome. I have poured into you love, not a fragile, fickle love, but an everlasting one that never runs dry. I have granted you discernment to distinguish my voice from the lies of fear. Tonight, don't carry the old into the new. Don't drag the echoes of what once hurt you into tomorrow. The morning is a new beginning, but it will only be complete if you step into it with a heart cleansed by faith. You are about to stand before a door that has remained shut for many seasons, not because I forgot you, but because I knew your heart needed time to be refined. And the place I refine you is not the spotlight, but the hidden place. In the unseen days, in the misunderstood months, that is where I shaped you. Not to punish, but to prepare, and now the time has come. That door will not open on its own. It waits for the feet of the one I have authorized, and that one is you. Do not doubt any longer. I did not choose you because you were the best. I chose you because you were willing to listen, because you did not run away, because even among other paths, you still turned your eyes toward me. You tell me you're weak, I say, in your weakness, my power is made perfect. You say you don't know where to begin. Just open your mouth, I will give you the words. Just start walking, I will make the path. Just believe, and the rest leave to me. Oh, my child, do not look at your shortcomings and try to measure what I am doing. I do not choose the perfect, I choose the willing. If you look at your hands and see only lack, remember that I am your provider. If you look at the time and feel late, remember that I am not bound by clocks. I have gone before you. I have arranged every piece. What you think is coincidence is part of the grand design I am completing. And when morning breaks, don't rush out of bed like every other day. Slow down. Sit with me. Let me be the first sound your soul hears. For when I speak, chaos quiets, mountains level, and crooked paths are made straight. You don't need to prepare like the world prepares. You only need to be ready in spirit. Let my word fill your heart before any other voice enters. You've been carrying too much that was never yours to hold. You've been trying to prove something to others, to yourself, even sometimes to me, but you don't have to. My love is not a reward for effort. It is an inheritance you were born to receive. You don't need to strive to belong, you already are mine. So breathe deep. Rest not just in sleep, but in release. Release control. Release the unanswered questions. Release even the dreams that have been delayed. I hold them all and I will restore them all. Not a single moment has been wasted. Not a single sob has gone unheard. Not one prayer has hit the ground without my keeping. Even the things you didn't expect, even the turns that seemed wrong, I've been leading you through it all. Step by step, season by season, breath by breath, everything rests in my hand. And the best part is I'm not just at the end of your journey, I'm with you in every step along the way. So when the first light of morning touches your soul, know this: you are not alone, you are not lost, and you have never been forgotten. I am there right where you're going, arms open wide with a heart that never changes. My beloved child, I am speaking into the deepest part of your heart, the place no one else sees, the place even you have never named. I see the trembling within your soul, the quiet questions you haven't dared to utter aloud. I know you are wondering, could I truly be enough? Am I really chosen? Can I step out and not fall? And I myself am answering you. You don't need to be enough because I am the one who is complete. My guidance will not lead you astray. The bends in the road are not missteps. They are where I shape you with the gentle hands of a loving father. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are walking a path marked by my everlasting love. Let your heart be still. Let peace sink in like night rain upon dry ground. Peace isn't when all is calm around you, but when you know with certainty that I am holding your hand through the storm. I am not the author of confusion, nor do I push you into uncertainty and leave you there. No, beloved, I am the Father of light. In me there is no shadow. When I speak, it is not to bewilder. When I act, it is holy order. And if you rest your heart in me, you'll see every movement in your life, quiet or shaking, as a thread I'm weaving with the cords of grace. You are not hidden from me. On the contrary, I have cradled you under the shadow of my wings. I have never forgotten your name nor retracted the promise I placed on your life. Even when you cannot feel my presence, it does not mean I am not there. You are simply passing through a season of preparation, a time of hiddenness where I work in secret. I build nothing lasting on shallow ground. I am digging your roots deep and firm, so when the wind of glory blows, you will not be shaken. Keep your eyes on me. Do not let your gaze wander, seeking validation from others. Don't grow weary of the voices around you, praise or doubt. Obedience does not require the crowd's agreement. When I call you, the only thing you need is trust. And I know true faith is often shown in silent decisions, unseen steps, and acts no one ever notices. You were not called to please man. You were chosen to glorify my name. And when you choose me over the applause of others, you'll see doors open, not because of your striving, but because of my faithfulness. I am digging deep in you, not just for what I am about to do, but because you yourself are part of that very work. The breakthrough you've been waiting for is not outside you, it begins within. I'm not preparing a miracle to drop into your hands as a gift from the sky. I am preparing you to become the vessel of that miracle. What I long to do through you is greater than anything you've imagined. If you are not deep enough, what I give could crush rather than crown you. But beloved, I am a father. I do not place upon you more than you can bear. I know your capacity, and I have measured what I am about to entrust to you with precision. Now that you stand at the threshold of a new chapter, I ask, will you move forward or will you turn back? I will not force your step. I invite. The choice remains yours, as it always has. But this time, know this. Some doors do not stay open long. Not because I lack patience, but because the time has come. If you wait for fear to leave, you may never begin. But I do not wait for you to be unafraid before I call you. I call you while you're still trembling, so you'll know the strength does not come from you, but from me. Tonight you must face the final corner of your heart you've been avoiding, the one named fear. It doesn't scream or shout, but it whispers day after day. It wears the mask of logic, disguises itself as caution, and tells you, just wait a little longer. But in truth, it is binding your feet. I did not place that spirit in you. I did not give you confusion. I gave you power, love, and a sound mind, so do not carry it into tomorrow. Do not let an old fear steal a new opportunity. Let it fall away tonight like a worn-out cloak, so you may be clothed in the new garment I have prepared for you. You thought you didn't know what to do. But child, when you take the first step, I will give the words. When you open your mouth, I will fill it. When you move in faith, I will move with you. I am never still when you stir in obedience. I will meet you at the point of your movement. Don't worry about the details you can't yet see. You don't need a map, you have me. I do not just go before you, I walk beside you and guard your back. Your path has already been cleared. All that remains is for you to step into it. Tomorrow morning will not be an ordinary morning. It is a sacred moment. A door long sealed across many seasons will be unlocked, not because you have tried hard enough, but because I have said, it is time. The gate you once stood before and wept, knocked on, but saw no movement, will now shift. The creak of its hinges is the sound that the closed season is ending. But you can only step through if you believe in the authority I have placed on you. You are no longer who you were. Do not approach this new opportunity with an old mindset. You have been changed in the silence, in the tears, in the moments you thought you'd been abandoned. But in truth, I was stripping away everything that didn't belong to you. Now you are ready, not because you've learned enough, not because you're without flaws, but because I see something within you, a heart that listens, a flame of faith still burning, a love that refuses to give up. I chose you not because you're strong, but because I want to reveal my strength through you. My spirit is upon you right now. You have everything you need because you have me. I will never send you where I have not been. I do not call you to anything I have not already equipped you for, so my child, do not shrink back. Go, rise in firmness of heart. For the rest of the story is waiting to be written with me. Child, sit and quiet your heart. I am not coming to you now as a trumpet blast in the heat of battle, but as a soft wind through the evening field, so your soul may be still enough to hear the eternal. Do not rush to follow emotions or outward urgencies. Let my words fall like soft rain on the soil of your spirit, the secret place where you often hide. For it is there I will plant seeds that will one day bloom in deserts where you once thought nothing could grow. There are days unlike any other, and today may be one of them. I know to you each day seems to pass predictably like a wheel turning without pause. Hours, minutes, moments stack upon one another until you begin to believe there's nothing new under the sun. But beloved, I am not bound by the steady rhythm of time. I stand above it. I measure moments not by clocks but by sacred purpose. There are moments appointed not by human need but by heaven's design. I have seen the full picture, the times you fell, the seasons you turned away, the days that felt unchanged. But I have also seen the turning points. The days that if you understood their worth, you'd tread barefoot on holy ground, careful not to waste a second. Days when even the smallest yes could open a river of new beginnings in your life. Days when the door that looked worn and ordinary was actually the gateway into an entirely new season. And perhaps you are living in one of those days. No fanfare, no declarations, just a day that looks like yesterday. But it is the quiet that makes it sacred. It is the ordinary that cloaks the extraordinary. For I do not always display my glory on mountaintops. More often I meet you in the open field where you least expect it. You once waited for miracles like lightning splitting the sky. You hoped I would shake everything around you just so you could be sure I was moving. But I want you to know sometimes miracles come in the smallest form. A gentle touch, a simple word, a subtle opportunity that brushes past your life. They do not cry for astonishment, they require a heart that listens and is ready. Are you ready? Not for great deeds, but ready to hear, ready to trust, ready to say, yes, Father, even when you don't understand what's unfolding. You often look for meaning in radiant moments, in applause, in achievements that draw admiration. But my child, a life is not changed by mountaintops, it is shaped by quiet choices in the valley. I met Job not at his restoration, but in the ashes. I called Samuel while he slept, not during the holy gathering. I spoke to Elijah not in the storm, but in a whisper. So do not despise the quiet. When everything around you seems silent, it does not mean I am silent. I am speaking clearer than ever to a heart that is open. I am calling you into something new, not flashy, not loud, but so weighty in spirit that it will shatter the chains of the old. It might be a simple conversation, a glance you need to give to someone I placed in your path, a life-giving word you must not withhold, a small action, but if you do not act, part of the plan delays. And if you do act, it will begin a ripple you cannot yet imagine. My beloved child, do not wait for another confirmation. Do not hold off until everything becomes clear, for if the light were already full, you would no longer need faith. I give light, yes, but I cherish the moments when you step forward into the darkness simply because you trust that I am leading you. Do you hear that, my child? It is in the small act made in the midst of uncertainty that your trust in me resounds most powerfully. I want you to know that every moment you walk in obedience is a moment recorded in heaven. No act of faith is ever meaningless. No word spoken under my guidance falls empty. Everything you do while listening to my voice sends ripples beyond the bounds of time and space. And when you do those seemingly small things not because you must, but because you choose to obey, then the great promises will begin to unfold on their own without you even having to knock. The things I whispered to you in the stillness of night will begin to take shape. You'll begin to see that every challenge, every delay, every season of waiting was preparing you for this moment, for the moment when you would finally listen not with your ears, but with your soul. Child, do not fear the smallness of the present. I have always done great things through the smallest beginnings. Do not let your eyes dim your faith. Do not let the waiting numb your passion. I am ready to move, but I will move through you if you are willing to hear and willing to step forward. So receive this day as a sacred gift. Keep your heart tender. Let your eyes be open to the wisdom from above. And as you walk forward, know this, you do not walk alone. For I have gone before you, I am with you now, and I will walk beside you always. And who knows, my beloved, perhaps today is that day. The day your destiny takes a turn towards something entirely new. Not because of a grand announcement, but because of a whisper you heard and a single step you dared to take. My precious child, sometimes you don't realize that the very day you're living is a divine one, a moment that will never come again, appointed even before you were born. I understand that in the hustle of life, with 1,000 voices crowding your mind, it's hard to see what is truly unfolding. But oh child, still your heart, for not everything great comes in grand appearances. Some days begin quietly, no trumpets, no signs, yet they carry the seed of a sacred shift. You might wake, wash your face, prepare for a normal day, unaware that destiny is knocking. I've already gone before you. While you were still asleep, I was moving. While you were still unsure, I was preparing hearts. While you thought you were simply facing another ordinary day, I had already marked this moment in heaven. I stirred hearts around you to align at the right time, in the right place, with the right people. I laid foundations your eyes have not yet seen in rooms you've never walked into. And if you will listen for my voice, if you will choose to enter this moment with obedience, a chain of events will begin to unfold like a floodgate opened, like wind rushing through a dry valley. What follows will surpass your wildest expectations. Not because you're capable, but because I have ordained it. Not because you are enough, but because I am. Yet it all begins with something seemingly small, the posture of your heart before the day begins. That's why I want you to grasp something deeply important, something many miss in their haste and distraction. What you do in the stillness before the night ends carries spiritual weight. Every thought you cradle in silence, every emotion you release or hold on to in the dark, every whisper spoken only in your heart, they are not small. They are seeds. And when you lay your head down to sleep, your mind becomes the soil. This is why I don't want you to carry sorrow, anxiety, or bitterness into your sleep. I don't want your day to end with spinning thoughts of what if only, or why. Those things are thorns, not seeds. I invite you to place your heart in my hands before the night fully falls. Not so you can strive, but so you can rest in the truth that I am holding you, that I have never left you, and that everything I do is filled with purpose. That final thought before sleep is not just a fleeting idea. No, my child, it is an entryway, a spiritual door. In that moment, your mind opens, and what you allow into your heart will sink into the deepest part of your being, where thoughts become belief, where fear takes root, or where truth can ignite a flame. One anxious thought can rob you of peace through the night and close your spirit off to the light of morning. A hidden bitterness can become a wall that blocks what I'm trying to give. A single whispered accusation against yourself can turn into chains that bind you from walking where I'm calling. But if instead you choose to plant truth in that moment, even just one simple remembrance of, my love, even just one breath of, I trust you, even just one whisper of gratitude, then you've placed a sword in your hand. You've prepared your weapon before the battle begins. You've lit a fire in your soul that darkness cannot smother. You won't wake up confused or burdened, but clear in mind and firm in spirit. I don't ask you for long prayers or beautiful words. I simply want to hear your honest heart, a small voice, yes, but true. Let the last thing you say before sleep be, Lord, I believe. You're still working, and I will answer. Not at the time you demand, but at the moment your heart is ready. I have seen many go to sleep with empty minds and rise into directionless days, but I have also seen those who choose to place their thoughts in me before rest, and when they awaken they carry light. You are one of those. You are the one I am awakening, not in the morning but in the night, because the dreams I give are not to lull you, they are to activate you. What I whisper in the dark is not to comfort only but to prepare. The instructions I release in the quiet are not just to soothe, but to raise you up to step into a day already designed by heaven. So don't let this night pass like every other. Prepare your heart. Lay down everything that doesn't belong to me. Let go of the worn-out images you've been clutching. Allow me to be the final voice you hear. Not fear, not the news, not memories. Let me frame this day with my promise, and you will see tomorrow. Morning is not just a new moment. It is a new season. A day written in the ink of destiny. A day where if you rise with a heart prepared, nothing will be impossible. My beloved child, when darkness falls and the world grows quiet, that is when I draw closest to you. Not to teach, not to perform miracles, but simply to sit beside you like a father by the bedside of his cherished child. I know your mind is still spinning with unanswered questions, with worries woven from things that haven't even happened yet. But listen to me. The night is not a place of fear, but a place of surrender. It is not the end, but a sacred moment to hand over what you cannot control into my hands. Think of me as you lay your head down to sleep, not as a distant concept, but as a close companion, a loving presence that never leaves the one who knows you more intimately than you know yourself. Let me be the last thought that lingers in your mind before sleep gently comes. You don't need long prayers, just a whisper, a remembrance, a quiet turning of your inner gaze toward me. When you end your day with gratitude, however small, you plant a powerful seed within your soul. You believe sleep is when everything pauses, but I say to you, sleep is the beginning of many sacred things. Your body rests, but your spirit remains open. Your heart, if kept in faith and surrender, will continue to receive spiritual flows beyond what your mind can grasp. There are things I cannot impart to your busy mind during the day, so I wait until you let go, release, fall silent, and then I speak. My angels don't only guard you as you move through the day. They are sent to stand beside you in the night when you are fragile, when you no longer strive, when you rest in trust. Your dreams, if surrendered to me, are not merely subconscious images. They become visions, guidance, and whispers from heaven. Yes, I still speak not only through prophets, but through anyone with an open heart, a ready ear, and an unclosed spirit. Night is when I plant seeds of wisdom. When I pour into you the steadfastness to face whatever tomorrow may bring. You don't need to fear tomorrow. You have already been prepared, not by your own strategies, but by my hand. Don't assume that nighttime silence is emptiness. It is the stage for unseen movement. I do not wait for you to wake up to begin my work. I begin when you surrender. I grant courage before the trial arrives. I release clarity before you must choose. I speak as you sleep, and my word never returns void. This is why I urge you, guard your soul before you drift into sleep. Do not let the residue of a weary day drag your spirit into darkness. Do not let the images of pain, failure, envy, or regret become the curtain that blocks the light I wish to sow within you. Cleanse your inner being. Breathe out and release all that is not from me. Let not bitterness be the final note of your day. Let my word, my presence, become the gentle river that flows through your spirit until rest overtakes you. I long to be with you in those quiet moments. No rush, no noise, no judgment. Just me and you in the hidden place of your thoughts, where I peel away the layers of exhaustion, the fragments of doubt, the burdens you've carried too long. And there I will fill you with hope. Not a shallow optimism, but a sweet certainty that all things are moving, that a door is opening, that you are not alone on this journey. There are victories you'll never tell a soul about because they happen where no one sees. Not on stages, not in crowds, not with applause. But I see, I know, I remember. The greatest shifts in your spirit often begin in the quiet hours of the night, where you say yes when no one hears. Where you choose to release, to forgive, to yield without prompt or recognition. Where you choose to believe even when nothing seems to change. That is where the roots of faith grow deep. You won't wake up the same. Tomorrow you will carry something different. Others may not notice, but your soul will know. A new steadiness, a quiet clarity, a faith not born of emotion but of a sacred encounter between you and me in the midnight hour. And that will change how you walk, how you see others, how you face challenges. For one who has slept in, my peace will rise in my power. So tonight, my dear child, do not let the outer world shape your heart. Turn your inner gaze toward me. Call me by the name dearest to you. I am not far. I have never been far. I am here right in this room by your bedside, within every breath, whether heavy or light, and if you invite me in, I will stay. Not briefly, but with the fullness of heaven's presence. Give me this moment, the moment when the world demands nothing of you and you can lay down every mask. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to force belief. You only need to be yourself, tired, raw, but open. And I will be myself, the one who never changes, the one who remains when everything else fades away. My precious one. It is in these seemingly quiet moments, without lights, applause, or human approval, that your truest self begins to take form. Greatness is not born out of noise, it is formed in the furnace of quiet, honest decisions. Courage is not built in glory, but in the quiet endurance where you keep walking though your steps tremble. And vision is not sharpened by praise, but by each time you dare to say no to deception, no to doubt, no to anything not of me. Many of my children have overlooked such moments, dismissing the weight of a passing thought. But child, I tell you truly, no thought is passing in the spiritual realm. Every idea you entertain is a seed sown into the soil of your soul. And what you allow to take root will soon sprout, bloom, and bear fruit, either holy or harmful, depending on its source. One thought can shape an entire day. One thought can direct the path of your years. One thought may mark the beginning of a destiny or become the breeze that blows you off course. This is why I urge you with tenderness. Take every thought captive, engage it, examine it. Don't let it slip into your subconscious like wind brushing past your garment. Every time a thought creeps in, pause and ask, where does this come from? Does it arise from the spirit or from the shadows? Does it bring clarity or cloud me in confusion? Never forget, I am the God of love. My voice always brings life, encouragement, and restoration. But the enemy, he whispers, craftily sowing shame, blame, and the slow erosion of faith. The enemy's first attack is never loud, it's a suggestion. He doesn't knock at the door of your soul, but leans in with a whisper dripping doubt. You're not good enough. Did God really call you? It's too soon, or maybe too late. And child, if you don't recognize that voice as false, you will unknowingly begin to live by it. Every spiritual collapse begins with a thought left unchecked. And every victory in me begins with a thought examined, surrendered, and brought under my authority. I do not demand perfection from you in every moment, but I long for you to live awake. Every choice, whether to stay silent or speak up, to turn away or lift your eyes to me, is a fork in the road. And do you know this? The biggest turning points in your life rarely begin with grand gestures, but with a quiet decision in your spirit. I will believe my Father's word, not my fleeting feelings. That is victory, that is obedience, and that is the unshakable ground upon which I will build something great. You must learn to listen not just with ears, but with your spirit. Pay attention to what you feel deep within when a thought arrives. Does it make you braver or make you shrink? Does it light a flame of hope or smother your dreams? Does it draw you toward me or make you feel shame and want to run? These are the compass, questions that help you discern truth from deception, light from darkness, my voice from the enemies. Don't believe that discerning thoughts is something lofty or beyond reach. It is a survival skill in your spiritual journey. The strongest warriors in my kingdom are not the ones who do the most, but the ones who guard their minds with the most vigilance. I am searching for such hearts that quiet themselves to listen, that test every thought, that cling to what is good and cast off what is false. My beloved child, not every thought that seems right is truly from me. Not every sense of peace originates from my hand. There are times I draw you into stillness, not to lull you into slumber, but to teach you how to listen. There are times I allow the storm not as punishment, but so that you may learn to distinguish the roar of the wind from my gentle whisper. It is in these very moments that your discernment is sharpened and you learn to walk not by emotional impulse, but by the leading of my spirit. You are not alone in this. I am always ready to pour out wisdom upon those who ask without reproach, without delay. Come to me. Ask me when a thought begins to settle in your heart. I am near, not distant, not difficult to reach. I rejoice when you ask, Father, is this what you're saying to me? For in that very moment, you are not only receiving truth, but learning to live in deeper communion with me, a bond no power of darkness can ever break. Guard your heart, for from it flows the wellspring of life. Stand watch over your mind, for every battle begins there. Choose thoughts that carry the fragrance of hope, truth, peace, and love, for that is the language of heaven. And if a thought does not reflect my character, reject it outright. Do not let it dwell like an uninvited guest who slowly takes up space. You were not born to be a victim of deception. You were created to reign within your inner realm, a place I will gladly inhabit if you let me be king. And child, if tomorrow you must face a great decision, do not wait until the final moment to call on me. Begin now with the small choices, the quiet thoughts knocking at the door of your soul. For it is in these hidden decisions made in the shadows that your identity is forged in the light. And I who see all things will reward you not based on outcomes, but for your faithfulness in every thought, every moment, every heartbeat. Let me be the first voice you hear when you awake, and the last voice before sleep carries you away. I do not speak many words, but mine carry the weight of eternity. One word from me can redirect the course of your entire life. So keep your heart tender, keep your mind alert, for what I will do in you and through you begins in that silent space, a single thought held in the light of truth. My beloved, there is something many overlook, but I want you to understand deeply the way you enter the night will shape the way you emerge into the morning. So often your courage at sunrise does not begin when light appears, but in the moment your head rests upon the pillow in the quiet of night. That choice unseen by others is the turning point. It is the moment you decide, will I let my mind be flooded with truth or with fear? Will I end the day in bitterness or with a song of praise? Will I cling to failure or surrender it all into my hands? If you drift to sleep with voices in your seventile, mind telling you you're a failure, that you always ruin things, then your soul will absorb those words as if they were truth. And when dawn breaks, you'll rise like one without purpose. But child, that is not the truth I've spoken over you. Those are the enemy's lies whispered to cast darkness where I have declared light. I did not create you to live in the loop of disappointment. I have spoken life, hope, and a future over you. And these are the final thoughts I want resting in your heart before your eyes close. If you end your day in discouragement, replaying what hasn't worked, sighing over what hasn't changed, then you're sowing a shadow into tomorrow. But if you finish your day by turning your gaze toward me, allowing my word to become a blanket over your mind, you will experience the difference. Not just a peaceful sleep, but an anointed one. Not just a new morning, but a guided one. Do you know this? I created the night. I made it not as a void between day and day, but as a sacred bridge, a holy space where I meet you in the quiet. Night is not just for your body to rest, but for your soul to be healed, restored, and realigned. I do not waste a moment in the dark. While your eyes are closed, I am at work. While you sleep, I reset what has gone off course. While you rest, I plant vision. Consider this. My child, night is a gift. I designed your rhythm to always include an exit, a door out of chaos into calm. I did not only call the day good, I also called the darkness separated, named by me, Genesis 1:5. I do not despise the night, I bless it. And you need not fear it, step into it like a sacred appointment. For in the night I whisper things not yet ready to be revealed in the light. Day and night are not just time passing, they are spiritual rhythms. Every sunset is a chance to release. Every sunrise is a grace to begin anew. If you learn to approach night with the right heart, you will no longer fear the morning. If you place your burdens in my hands before you sleep, you will no longer wake up with them. I have not called you to sleep in spiritual weariness. I invite you into my rest. So, my child, do not end the day with a restless mind. Before your eyes close, let me be your final thought. Let my promises be the lullaby that draws you into peace. Let your heart not set aside this day with resentment, but with trust. Surrender to me everything you cannot control, and let my peace guard your heart, a peace not born of circumstances, but of my presence alone. And you will find when morning comes, your first sensation will no longer be dread, but gentleness from heaven. A peace that surpasses understanding, a strength within that you know didn't come from yourself. You'll wake not under the weight of burdens, but with a sense of mission, not with weariness, but with renewal. And it all begins not when the sun rises, but the moment you choose to enter the night in obedience and faith. End today as one who knows that tomorrow is sacred. Sleep as one who understands that rest is not an ending, but a doorway into a chapter written by the Father's hand. When you learn to surrender in the stillness, you will rise in power. When you learn to be quiet in me, you will be equipped to speak forth greatness. And when you choose to sleep with my word, you will awaken with a will aligned with heaven. For night is never abandonment. It is an invitation. And I, your Father, am waiting there, not to judge, but to restore. Not to condemn, but to touch the deepest parts of your soul. So, my child, end this day in peace. Let the night become the place where I meet you. For tomorrow morning will carry something new, and you must be ready not only with your actions, but with a surrendered heart, even before the light arrives. My beloved child, as the day draws to a close and the sun retreats beyond the horizon, I, your companion through every step of this long day, come again. Not with noise, not with pressure, but with a tender invitation. I do not come to demand more of you, nor to question or judge. I come simply to take your hand and whisper one thing. Now is the time for you to rest. You have run tirelessly today, sometimes for righteous reasons, sometimes just to avoid being left behind. Your mind is tangled, your heart heavy, and the feet of your soul weary. But my child, as the sun sets, I have prepared a resting place just for you, not just ordinary sleep, but true rest in my presence. Lay it all down, the weight you've been carrying, the relentless thoughts, the unanswered questions, the dreams still incomplete, the failures pressing on your heart. I am not asking you to explain them. I only ask that you bring them here before me like a child placing the broken pieces of life into a father's hands. Not so I can scold, but so I can lift, heal, and restore. When the night falls, I do not retreat like the world does. On the contrary, it is when all other sounds fall silent that I speak most clearly. I do not sleep. I do not grow tired. When you lie down, I keep watch. When your eyes close, I am still at work. When you lose control, I move most powerfully. And when morning comes, you won't just wake with new strength, you'll rise bearing the fruit of what I sowed in the night. So, child, do not rush past the stillness of night. Do not dismiss this moment as a void between days. It is not empty time. It is a sacred bridge I use to carry you from today's weariness into tomorrow's power. You don't need to understand everything, just be willing to pause and be still before me. Come to me. You don't need to prepare anything. You don't need perfect words. Just come as you are. Bring the questions you're afraid to name. Hand me the loneliness you've hidden behind your smile. Offer even your joys, the ones that seem too small to matter. I receive it all. And then just sit. Don't rush. Wait for me to speak. Because, my dear one, a single word from my mouth, a single breath of heavenly truth, can shatter the chains around your soul. It can shift the path you thought was already set. It can erase the echo of failure and write a new page in your journey with golden ink. You don't need much. You only need one word from me, and I am speaking, even in the night. I call you not because I need ritual, not because I want a display of religion. I call because I long for you. Not the strong parts of you, but the most vulnerable. I love the look in your eyes when you're quiet before me. I treasure the tears you can't put into words. Because in that fragility I inscribe my name on your heart, not with loud declarations, but with gentleness, with truth, with love deeper than oceans. I know the day has wounded you by careless words, unexpected disappointments, pressures no one else sees. I don't ignore those things. I come to heal, to wipe them away, to say, you don't have to endure alone. No one can love you the way I do. No one can touch your pain without making it worse except me. So tonight, as you close your eyes, don't do it out of routine. Let it be a covenant. Lay yourself down as though resting in my arms. Let every thought be cleansed by my presence. Let me be the last thing you remember, the final sound you hear, the last light you see before silence falls. And when you awaken, you won't just wake up. You'll be awakened, lifted, ushered into a new day, not just with tasks, but with purpose. For I never send a day to you without something meant for you. But to receive it, you must be prepared. And preparation begins tonight when you choose to believe that even in sleep, I am moving. You may be tired, confused, wordless. That's okay. Just come to me. I do not measure your holiness by what you say. I measure it by your willingness to surrender. And if tonight all you can say is, Lord, hold me, that is enough. I will hold you. I will cover you. I will act, for the darkness of night cannot swallow you when I am the light. When you cannot carry yourself, I will carry you through the night. And when morning brushes against your door, you will see that I have been there all along, bringing the answer you've been waiting for, the joy you lost, the strength you need. You are not just surviving the night. You are overcoming with me. And that is my promise. Not a fleeting one, but a promise from the one who will never leave you. My beloved child, pause for a moment. Give your mind space to hear my voice. There are things your reason cannot grasp, but your soul is beginning to recognize. Can you feel it? A stirring in the silence, something deeper shifting beneath the surface of ordinary life. It's not coincidence, not fleeting emotion. It is a spiritual rhythm, a divine pulse I, myself, have begun within you. My child, understand this. I do not operate in chaos. I move with pattern and precision. Everything I do carries order of flawless accuracy. I am never rushed, never late. I don't react to circumstances. I lead with purpose. Just as the sun rises each morning and the moon finds its rightful place each night, so I have set a rhythm within your spirit. It is no accident that you feel stirred. It is not random that something inside you cries out for change. I am syncing your soul with the new season I am preparing to lead you into. Look at nature, it moves in rhythm. A time to sow, a time to reap. Winter's death giving way to spring's rebirth. Your soul, too, has seasons. There are times I close every door, not to abandon, but to teach you to listen more deeply. There are times you feel hidden, not because I've turned away, but because I am planting you in the soil. The root must go deep before the sprout can rise. Preparation always precedes unveiling. I will not bring you forth while you are still fragile. I do not entrust greatness to a soul unshaped by fire. There is a rhythm for breakthrough and a rhythm for revelation. I do not always act in dazzling light. Many times the day of transformation is born in the night of surrender. When you release, when you let go of control, when you whisper, yes, through tears, that is when I begin to write something new. No one sees, no one knows, but I am moving. And that movement begins deep in your soul, where you dared to say yes with nothing yet clear. You are not a product of circumstance. Though the world may change, though others may turn, you do not drift. You are not defined by instability. You are not a victim of chance. I am the Lord of time. I hold the rhythm of your life in my hand, each season, each day, each moment. And in my hand, nothing is wasted. I don't just know where you are. I know where you're going. I have seen the path ahead even while you wrestle with the step before you. I am not confused by detours. I am not surprised by your stumbles. I have accounted for every delay, every doubt, and still I have not changed my plan for you. I know the road I have ordained, and you are not lost. You are in the making. I am preparing you even now for a day marked in heaven, a day that will arrive suddenly but not unexpectedly to me. That day will be a landmark in your journey, the day you step into what I once showed you in dreams, the day the fruit of silent obedience begins to appear. You may see no signs, you may feel stuck, but my preparation is not built on speed, it is built on depth, and you are being deeply rooted, not overlooked. Do not compare your season to another's. Do not look around and think I'm working faster or brighter with them. Your seed is unique, your harvest will be as well. I may be working in silence, but do not mistake my silence for absence. I am here watching, tending, refining, aligning. I am marking the time, and when the hour comes, I will lift you into the place where you truly belong. My beloved child, what you are feeling right now is not a coincidence. It is an invitation, a sign that a new season is near. If you keep clinging to the old, you will miss what I am about to do. If you insist on understanding everything, you will pass up the chance to simply believe. Let your faith align with the time I have appointed. Open your heart not for clarity but for readiness. For a new season does not come to those who wait for certainty. It comes to those who move in the rhythm of my spirit. It comes to those willing to let go of old frameworks so I can build something new within. It comes to those who understand growth is not always visible. Sometimes it happens in silence, in darkness, in the hidden place, and it is there that I am making you steadfast. And you will see when that season arrives, everything will align like divine puzzle pieces. Your pain will find its meaning. Your waiting will blossom. My promises will come to life, and you will know I never forgot you. I was never late. I always had a purpose, even in what seemed meaningless. You only need to continue, believe, step, wait, obey. Because, my child, I am teaching you not just to know my timing, but to live within it, be yielded, be aligned, and be prepared, for the new season is not far off. The rhythm has already begun. And I am inviting you to walk with me, not ahead, not behind, but in step with the time I've set just for you. My beloved, you cannot wait until dawn breaks to prepare for the divine things I am leading you into. The light of tomorrow is not a wake-up call. It is a signal to step out. Preparation doesn't happen in grand moments. It happens in the quiet where no one sees, where it is just you and me. I am inviting you not to accomplish something spectacular, but to surrender in simplicity. Tonight is not a pause between important moments. It is sacred ground where the seeds of tomorrow are being sown. I know you are tired from a long day. I see the weight on your shoulders, the sorrow in your eyes, the thoughts that fill your heartbeat. But it is precisely now, not tomorrow morning, not next week, but right now that I am waiting for you. When the noise fades, when no one else demands anything from you, that is when I draw near. No one needs to know what's stirring inside you, I know. And I have chosen this moment, one that looks ordinary to others, to plant something extraordinary in you. You don't need to prepare something grand to meet me. Just a heart ready, just a whisper, Father, I'm here. I will come not in a whirlwind, not in thunder, but in a gentle breath, just enough to stir your soul before it drifts asleep. Many miss what I've prepared, not because they rebel, but because they slumber in apathy. They end their day with meaningless distractions, scattered minds and eyes no longer fixed on me. They let fatigue replace anticipation. They let disappointment suffocate hope. But not you, I believe that about you. You are the one I've seen from afar, the child I marked before you were formed in the womb. I know something within you is rising, a hunger, a calling, a spiritual longing that nothing else can satisfy. And so I call you deeper, not into shallow prayers that fade, but into the deep place where I wait with a presence none can counterfeit, with a word only your heart can hear, with power that only flows into the quieted soul. Let tonight be the night you lay down your old burdens. You don't need to understand, explain, or control it. You just need to place it in my hands. Don't carry yesterday into the future I am opening. I don't need you to come to me with perfect reasoning, just come with a sincere heart. I don't measure your faith by how much you know, but by how much you surrender. And tonight, when you close your eyes to the noise, when you choose not to repeat old patterns, something new will begin. Tonight, child, is not like other nights, not because your circumstances have changed, but because you are choosing a different response. Let me be the final voice you hear before sleep. Let your last thought not be fear, not regret, not a distorted image of yourself, but me gently whispering, Father is here. And when you respond, yes, Lord, a door will begin to open. No need for blazing lights, just a nod of the soul in quiet trust. Let tonight be different. Not through grand acts, but through the posture of your heart before me. You don't need a sacred place to meet me. You are the place I desire to dwell. I am not looking for ceremony. I am searching for sincerity. And when you say, Lord, whatever you speak, I will do, heaven records those words as covenant. I don't just remember them, I move upon them. Let tonight be the night you trust me more than your emotions. Let it be the night you lay down worry and pick up peace. Let it be the night you stop asking what if and start declaring even if you don't see yet, you will walk. Even if you don't understand, you will obey. Even if fear lingers, you will choose to believe. For it is faith in the dark that makes you strong. It is the choices made in obscurity that I use to bring visible transformation. You will see when morning comes, you will not be the same as the night before. Not because a miracle instantly appeared, but because your heart has changed its posture, and when the heart is ready, everything else follows. I do not merely look for outer movement, I await inner shift. And that begins tonight, not tomorrow, not when you feel good enough, but right now where you sit, where your eyes read these words, where your heart is stirring, that is where I am present. Come to me as a child comes to their father. No need to dress up your faith. No need to hide your doubt. Just be real. Just be honest. And when you choose that, I promise you, I will not let this night pass without meaning. I will meet you. I will speak. I will fill. I will prepare you. And when morning comes, you will not simply enter a new day. You will enter a new destiny. My beloved, and when the first light of tomorrow slips through your window, you will no longer be the same person you were last night. Not because every situation has shifted overnight, but because something deeper, more enduring has taken place within your spirit. A silent, profound transformation. A shedding of the old without fanfare, marked only by my presence in the secret place. You will feel it in your first breath, a peace without explanation, a clarity no one else could give. Not the heavy winds of what if and if only, but the gentle breeze of release. Your eyes will not see the world through worry and doubt, but through the gaze of one who has met with the Father in the night. The stillness in your soul will not come from analysis, but from presence. The questions may still exist, but the anxiety will not, for I am the answer. You will know it not because someone tells you, but because your heart will be certain that the weight has lifted, certain that the noise has faded, certain that your trembling has been replaced with steadiness, not because you made it happen, but because I moved within you. In the night when you surrendered, when you stilled your heart, when you chose to trust, that is when I began building something new. And when you rise, stepping out of your rest, you will not face that day as the worn, uncertain soul of yesterday. You will walk as one strengthened, like a warrior equipped not with physical weapons but clothed in the armor of righteousness I placed on you, not with human wisdom but with living truth, not in your own strength but carried by my quiet power. And you will not walk alone. You will know deeply that I am in you, that I go before you, that I am beside you in every conversation, every decision, every beginning. What once seemed random will now carry divine purpose. The people you meet will no longer be by chance but by design, for I have gone ahead and aligned every detail. You need only to walk in awareness in step with me. So do not treat this night as ordinary. Do not let it pass like all the others. Pause, make room in your heart, lay everything heavy at my feet. Let the unresolved plans, the halfway dreams, the unnamed disappointments, let them fall before me. You do not need to finish everything before resting. You just need to let me take over. My beloved child, you cannot prepare for tomorrow by staying up all night in worry. But you can prepare for tomorrow by resting in me. A rest not only for the body, but a stillness deep within your soul. Ask me to prepare your heart. Let me be the one who tidies the room within the place where you will awaken in the morning. I know you're tired. I know you've tried. But now is the time to surrender, to trust, to let go. Because you see, some days are unlike others, days that are appointed. Days when my unseen hand will lift you out of the ordinary path. Days I wrote into the book of eternity before you ever let out your first cry. Days that are not random but sacred. Days where even the smallest detail contributes to the turning of destiny. Tomorrow morning might be one of those days. A day not dazzling in the eyes of the world but shaking the heavens. A day that if you walk in awareness, if you choose obedience, if you seize each moment with a ready heart, you will see me move, not through the storm but through the breeze. Not through thunder, but through a quiet conversation. Not through a grand spectacle, but through a gentle shift eternal in its impact. So tonight, my child, before you sleep, pause. Don't rush to end the day as usual. Reflect. Ask me, Father, is there something you want to say to me? Is there anything I need to release? Is there anything I need to prepare for? Ready your heart like a humble table, set for a most honored guest. And then rest. Truly rest, for your Father is keeping watch tonight on your behalf. Because some days are turning points. Some days are written in heaven's book in golden ink. And tomorrow morning, beloved, may be one of those days. A day that changes everything. A day when even your smallest act of obedience opens a great door. A day that if you awaken in awareness and alignment with me, you will know this is the day. My child, let your heart grow still and feel each beat of the peace I am sending you. Do not let your mind be deceived by the image of the storm or the whisper of the night wind, for these are but small scenes upon the grand stage I have set to prepare you. Every upheaval, every trial, every seeming threat rests securely in the palm of my hand. Nothing happens outside of my will, and my will is always for your good, even when your eyes cannot yet see it. You may think the road ahead is shrouded in mist, but on the map I hold, it is the very path that leads to a land overflowing with light. Remember, I do not merely know your future. I am already there waiting to welcome you with open arms. You take each step forward, yet I have already laid each firm stone beneath your feet so you will not stumble. You breathe in the air of the present, yet I have already sown the fragrance of hope into your tomorrow. You see darkness surrounding you, yet I have already hung the sun in the dawn, so that when you arrive, the light will burst forth like a triumphant song. I do not speak these words to soothe you only for a moment, but to plant in you a faith deeper than reason, steadier than emotion. I want you to understand that amid all uncertainty, one thing never changes: I will never leave you. My love for you is not born from your worthiness, but from my nature, the one who never changes, never forgets, and never abandons. While the world shifts from day to day, and hearts turn in an instant, that love stands unmoved like a mountain that cannot be shaken. You may not know what tomorrow will bring, but you know me, and that is enough. You do not need a detailed map, for I am the way. You do not need to hold every answer, for I am the answer. You do not need to understand every reason, for I am the meaning. Hold my hand, the hand that once pulled you from the depths, that once lifted you when you were exhausted, and that will lead you through doors you have never dared to dream of. My beloved child, I have seen every tear you have shed. Not one has fallen without being caught by me. I have heard every sigh you have breathed. Not a single sound has escaped my ears. I have watched the moments when you thought yourself most alone, and it was in those very moments that I stood closer to you than ever. You do not see me, but that does not mean I am absent, just as you cannot see the air yet breathe it with every moment. My presence is not dependent on your awareness of it. It exists as an eternal truth. And my child, what I am preparing for you is not merely a safe shelter from the storm, but a land of promise where dreams awaken, where what you thought was lost is restored. I am arranging all things with delicate precision like a master craftsman, shaping every detail so that when the moment comes, you will see how perfectly it all fits together. The pain you have endured will become the foundation on which you stand strong. The losses that once brought you low will become living proof of my strength in your life. I know there are times you want to ask why, but my child, the answer is not always what brings you peace. True peace comes when you know who holds your life. If you trust my hand, you will not need to understand everything, for you know I will never harm you. I do not lead you into the fire to burn you, but to refine you into pure gold. I do not take you through deep waters to drown you, but so that you will know even the waves must obey me. Perhaps right now you are walking a path where all your senses cry out, "Danger!" But let your mind rest in the truth that I have called you here, and where I call, I always prepare the way home. Fear is only the shadow that exists in the absence of faith's light. Once you let that light in, every threatening shadow will vanish. I have not come to promise you will never face hardship, but to ensure that no hardship will ever overcome you when you walk with me. My child, let your heart rest in my assurance. You do not fight alone, for I am the warrior who goes before you, and the strong fortress that surrounds you. You do not carry the burden alone, for my shoulders are broader than the skies able to bear all you have. When you are weary, lean on me. When you are confused, ask me. When you rejoice, sing with me. When you grieve, cry in my arms. There is no part of your life I do not long to enter and transform into something good. Tomorrow, when you open your eyes, the world may still be chaotic, but you will find your heart at peace, not because everything has changed, but because you know I am still here, still in control. And with each day that follows, I will lead you further from doubt and closer to steadfast trust. You will learn to recognize my footprints along your path, and when you look back, you will see that every step I led you was toward a moment of grace. My beloved, I am not only the author of your story, I am the one who guarantees that its ending will be more radiant than its beginning. I have already written the final chapter, overflowing with victory, joy, and light. And until you step into that last page, I will keep walking beside you, gently lifting you, faithfully guiding you. You need only to keep moving forward. Every turn and shift I will take care of. So do not fear the wind or the thunder. Do not let your mind be swayed by the noise of the world. Let my voice, the voice of love, steadfastness, and power, become the rhythm that leads you. You were not created to live in fear, but to walk in the freedom of one who knows they are loved without condition. And when you truly understand this, nothing in this world will be able to steal your peace, for that peace comes from me, the one who has promised to be with you until the very end. My beloved child, listen deeply and let every word I speak tonight sink into the very depths of your soul. I have not come to plant fear within you, but to build a stronghold inside you, one that no wind of this life can tear down. What I long to reveal is not a warning of disaster, but a confirmation that you are approaching a destined turning point. Before you lies something great, an unfolding of promises I planted long ago, a transformation that will ensure your life will never be the same again. This is not a small step, but a leap, a shift that will carry you beyond old limits into a new land where light, life, and grace overflow. But my child, to step fully into what awaits you, must understand that not everything upon you today can go with you into tomorrow. There are things, though familiar, though they were once part of your journey, whose season has now ended. There are burdens you carry that feel as though they are part of your very being, yet they are nothing more than worn-out garments, faded and no longer fitting their purpose. If you cling to them, they will not only slow your steps, but keep your arms too full to receive the new gifts I am about to give. Know this, I take nothing from you to leave you lacking. Every time I call you to release something, it is not because I wish for you to lose, but because I want your hands free to receive more better things truly meant for you. There are treasures you think you hold, but under my light they are only shards of broken glass reflecting false light. I long to replace them with true gems, things of eternal worth untouched by time or circumstance. Look back and you will see that there have been relationships, habits, and thoughts that once upheld you for a time, yet now have become the very chains holding you back. They are like heavy anchors that keep you from setting sail. I am not telling you to erase the past, but to place it where it belongs behind you. The new road cannot begin if your feet remain shackled by old memories, wounds, or pride. I know letting go is not easy. It feels like cutting away a piece of yourself, like giving up something you thought you could never live without. But my child, whenever I ask you to release, I am ready to place into your hands something greater. There is no loss in me that will not be repaid with grace and fullness. If you hold on to the old out of fear, you will unknowingly turn away the new simply because your hands are already full. There are things wrong or out of place that cling to you like dust on a garment after a long journey. You have carried them long enough. It is time to shake them off and put on the new robe I have prepared for you. This is not merely an outward change, but a renewal deep within your soul, a transformation that will leave you amazed at who you become. I do not simply want you to enter the promised land. I want you to step into it as one who is free, unbound by any chain. What I am about to give you is not a small reward, but a calling, an opportunity, a legacy. It requires you to walk lightly, carrying no unnecessary baggage. Just as a climber cannot take every possession up the mountain, you cannot bring all things from the old path into the new. I will show you what to keep and what to lay down. At first, this may confuse you. Some things you thought were beautiful will be left behind, while some you deemed ordinary will remain. But trust me, my child, I see the whole picture while you see only a part. You must remember that every time I prune, I am preparing for new growth. Any branch that does not bear fruit is cut away, not as punishment, but so the tree will not waste its strength on what is barren. In the same way, when I remove from you what is old, heavy, or untrue, it is so that your life's strength can flow into what will bear fruit in the days ahead. I want you to learn to believe that when a door closes, it is not the world turning against you, but me, protecting you from a path that no longer leads to blessing. When a relationship fades, it is not because you are without worth, but because I am making space for a new, healthier connection to enter. When an old dream crumbles, it is not the end, but the foundation upon which I will build another greater, stronger, and more fitting for who you are becoming. My beloved child, let me do this work. Let me strip away each heavy layer that has dimmed your light. Trust that nothing I remove is something you truly need for the future. And when you dare to open your hands, you will find I am placing into them things far beyond what you ever expected. What I am preparing is not only a reward, but an answer to prayers you have whispered in the night, to cries you thought I had not heard. The road ahead will not only change your circumstances, it will change you. You will become a new person with new vision, a new heart, and new strength. And when you stand in the land I have promised, you will see that everything I removed, everything you once wept to lose, was only preparation so you could stand strong in this place. Therefore, do not fear when I ask you to let go. Do not cling to what has served its time. Do not grieve over what I have closed. Look ahead to where the light is calling your name. I am there waiting for you with arms full of new things, and every single one has been prepared just for you. My beloved child, from the very beginning when I breathed the breath of life into you, there has never been a single line in the story I wrote for your life that spoke of shame, disgrace, or inferiority. In the book where I am the author, there is no description of you as a failure, as someone to be pitied, or as hopeless. The bitterness, the wounds, and the fears that now surround you are but dark stains, dust, and grime gathered with time, not born of me. They are remnants of a chapter long since closed, a chapter I have sealed with a permanent ending. Yet still you sometimes turn back its pages, lingering in scenes that have already passed, forgetting that I have written a new chapter, one where light and life overflow. My child, tonight I come not only to call you into rest, but to cleanse you from within, like a patient gardener, pruning, uprooting, and tending the soil. I will pull out every bitter root that has grown in your soul, roots that have drained your joy and made you feel small. I will remove every strand of fear that is wrapped around your heart, keeping you from stepping into freedom. I will touch the wounds that seemed healed yet still bleed quietly in the dark, and I will heal them once and for all. Picture your mind as a garden. There are rows of soil that once bore sweet fruit, but now only hold dry stumps and withered leaves. There are corners overrun with thorns blocking the light and preventing new life from breaking through. You have grown weary from trying to keep it all intact, but tonight I have come to renew it entirely. With hands both gentle and strong, I will uproot the dead plants, gather the fallen leaves, and sweep away the dust of the past. For only when the ground is cleared can the new seeds take root and flourish. I do not come to scold you for letting the garden grow wild, nor do I blame you for allowing shame and bitterness to linger so long. I know the storms you have faced, the rains that have eroded the soil. I know you have tried many times to rise again, yet there are some things you cannot remove on your own, and that is why I am here. Not to condemn, but to redeem. Not to remind you of what has withered, but to give you a new season. When I say I will sanctify your sleep, I mean I will grant you a night of peace where your mind finds complete rest, free from the invasion of painful memories or the fear of tomorrow. I will guard your sleep as a father who sits beside his child's bed, never taking his eyes away. I will whisper words of love into your unconscious so that when you awaken, your heart feels light without knowing why. I will plant seeds of hope in your mind so that when morning comes, you rise with new courage. Tonight I will be like the gardener who works by lamplight, tending the soil even in the stillness of night. While you sleep, I will remove every thought that diminishes you, every lie you once believed, every distorted image of yourself. I will replace them with truth that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are not the product of mistakes or failures, that you hold immeasurable worth because you belong to me. What I am doing is not a fleeting change of emotion. This is a deep renewal from the roots, like the passing of winter. When the ice melts, the earth softens and green shoots push through what once seemed dead. I will turn the driest parts of your soul into blooming fields. I will turn the tears that watered your sorrow into streams that nourish your joy. I will transform every scar into a testimony of the strength and preservation I have given you. But for this to happen, you must allow me into every room of your mind, even those you have locked away for fear of remembering. You think closing them keeps you safe from pain, but in truth it only gives the darkness a place to stay. When you open the door, I will step in, bring light, and cleanse it all. There is no corner too dark for my light to reach, no wound too deep for my hand to heal. Tonight, I am changing the atmosphere within you. Like a farmer preparing the ground before planting season, I am softening your heart, removing stones and spreading rich soil. You will no longer carry the remains of old chapters into the new. You will no longer be bound by what is past. When the morning comes, you will step into a new day with a light heart, ready to receive the seeds of promise I have prepared long ago. And my child, once this new season begins, you will be amazed at how much you have changed. The things that once frightened you will no longer have power over you. The memories that once brought you to tears will become only stories of the journey I carried you through. You will walk not with a bowed head in shame, but with lifted face, knowing you are loved, chosen, and sent for a great purpose. I want you to know that everything I do tonight begins with my unconditional love for you. This love is patient and never forces, yet powerful enough to shatter every chain. It will continue working in you even as you sleep, even when you are unaware. And with each passing day, you will see yourself blossom, bear fruit, and become the person I intended from the very beginning. So rest, my child. Let me do my work in the quiet so that when the dawn comes, you will awaken not only to a new day, but to a new life. And in that moment, you will know that every remnant has been swept away, every old chapter truly closed, and I, the author of your story, have written a beginning more beautiful than you ever dared to dream. My beloved child, pause for a moment and look deeply within yourself. Since the evening began, how many thoughts have pressed their way into your mind? Some have passed through like a gentle breeze, while others have lingered heavy as dark clouds before a storm. I know you have blamed yourself for things past, worried over what has not yet come, and allowed fragments of unhappy memories to replay like a sorrowful song. There are moments when you appear to be sitting still, yet in truth, your mind is running ceaselessly, wandering from one alley of fear to another corner of doubt. Tonight I have not come to scold you for these things, but to invite you into a new way of thinking. I am calling you to think rightly, not according to the standards of this world, nor by the prejudices of people, but according to the eternal truth that comes from me. Thinking rightly means seeing all things from my perspective, the one who sees from the beginning to the end. It means refusing to let fear lead the way, and instead allowing peace to govern every stream of thought. The peace I give you is not a fragile silence that can easily be broken, but an inner strength that stands firm in the midst of storms. When you think from a place of peace, you will see the road ahead clearly, even if your circumstances remain unchanged. When peace is your foundation, you will not be swept along by the chaotic currents of the world. I do not call you to close your eyes to reality, but to open them and see reality in the light of my truth. My child, your past, whether bright or scarred, has no authority to dictate your future. Yet I see how often you unconsciously use the lens of the past to judge the present. You look at a new opportunity and instantly recall a former failure. You hear a promise and remember the time someone betrayed you. You want to believe, yet you are afraid of being hurt again. These memories have tinted your thinking, making the future appear dim and threatening. But tonight, I want you to replace that lens with the light of hope. Not a fragile hope, not an empty self-consolation, but a hope grounded on an unshakable foundation. Me, the one who has never broken a promise. Your hope is not built on probabilities, luck, or human goodwill, but on my unchanging nature. When I speak a thing, it will surely come to pass. When I give a promise, it will stand even if the heavens and the earth are shaken. Let hope become your constant companion. Let it walk beside you each day, reminding you that a good future awaits. Let it lift you when you fall, wipe your tears when you weep, and whisper in your ear, there is still a chapter yet unwritten, and it will be more beautiful than you imagine. When hope is present, the shadow of fear must retreat. When hope leads the way, you will dare to step into places you never dreamed you could go. My dear one, thinking rightly does not mean you will never feel anxious. It means that even when anxiety knocks, you will not invite it to stay. You will acknowledge it, then gently let it go, because you have chosen a better companion, hope. When you let hope speak, it will drown out the noise of doubt. When you give hope a voice, it will remind you of the times I have saved you, provided for you, and made a way where there was none. Think of your mind as a house. Every thought is a guest. You cannot stop all guests from knocking, but you can decide who comes in and who must leave. If you let fear, self-blame, and bitterness stay, they will clutter the space, steal the light, and make your home dark. But if you welcome peace and hope, they will open the windows, letting in fresh air and sunlight, turning your house into a place worth living in. I know this requires a daily choice. You cannot decide once and then forget, for the enemy will always try to plant false thoughts in your mind. But I promise you, every time you call on me, I will remind you of the truth. I will remind you that you are not alone, that I am still writing your story, and that the next chapter will be so good it will make you smile just to think of it. My child, I want this night to be a turning point in the way you think. Choose to walk away from thought patterns ruled by fear. Refuse to let the past blur your vision. Choose to let hope steady and certain be your compass. And as you walk with hope, you will begin to see everything around you change, the way you speak, the way you act, even the way you see yourself. And one day you will look back and realize that it was hope that carried you through the hardest seasons, kept you standing when the winds howled around you. For that hope is not born of imagination, but is the gift of a faithful God, the one who still holds your hand and will never let go. My beloved child, clothe yourself in gratitude as a traveler wraps a warm cloak around his shoulders on a winter's night. It is not merely a fleeting feeling, but a covering that shields your soul from the cold winds of trial. Gratitude does not wait for circumstances to be perfect before it blooms. On the contrary, it is in the days before the light breaks through that its fragrance becomes most rich and deep. It is easy to give thanks when all is well, but to give thanks in the midst of hardship is the radiant beauty of a soul that has learned to see my hand even in the darkness. Do not be deceived into thinking that only when the storm has passed will you have reason to give thanks. In truth, gratitude in the storm is the very strength that will hold you until the dawn arrives. When you lift your voice in thanks, even before you see the way ahead, you are declaring to every force of darkness that your faith does not rest on circumstances, but on an unshakable foundation, me, the one who never changes. Raise your song of faith even if your voice trembles, even if your eyes are still wet with tears. That song, my child, is not an empty sound. It is the language of heaven, a language every angel understands and every shadow fears. When you sing even before the answer comes, you are opening a door for my power to enter your situation. You are not singing only for yourself. You are singing so that heaven and earth will know that you trust me completely. Your song of gratitude carries the power to drive back the darkness, not because of its melody, but because of the faith woven into each word. It causes invisible chains to weaken. It makes the fears that have surrounded you begin to fade like mist dissolving in the morning sun. It stirs movement in the heavenly realm, sending forth angels, setting my promises in motion in your life. And more than anything, it lifts your own heart, freeing it from the weight of sorrow. Imagine this. Every word of thanks you speak in weariness is like a small lamp in the middle of a dark forest. At first, its light may seem faint, but little by little it spreads and the darkness around you must retreat. Each time you sing the song of faith, you light another lamp until the sky above you glows with brilliance. And then you will realize you were led out of the night long before you even knew it. Gratitude will change the way you see life. It will turn trials into opportunities to witness grace. It will turn your tears into rain that waters the seeds of hope. It will teach you to see beauty, even in what seems meaningless, and to find joy in days that feel the heaviest. So, my child, wear the cloak of gratitude each day. Do not put it on only when you feel warm, but wear it when the cold winds rush in. For it is in those moments that you will feel its power most clearly. And as you walk clothed in it, you will witness something wondrous. Everywhere you go will be warm not only for yourself, but for all who draw near, touched by the warmth flowing from that grateful heart. And above all, let me be your refuge in the night. Let me be the pillow for your weary soul. Let my breath be the gentle breeze over the dry lands of your heart. While others sleep out of habit, you sleep in my presence. Not to escape reality, but to be reborn in stillness. For you will awaken, not just with a rested body, but with a soul awakened. You will not open your eyes just to face another day. You will open them and realize this day is unlike any that came before, because your heart was prepared, because you entered your sleep not with fear but with full trust. And when the first light pours into your room, your soul will rise with a strength not from yourself but from me. You will walk into a day that changes everything. Maybe you won't see the shift immediately, but in the unseen realm, the wheel of destiny has begun to turn. I have sent angels. I have aligned connections. I have moved hearts. I have sown seeds. Everything is in motion with a harmony only I can orchestrate. And you are being drawn into this flow not by striving but by surrender, because I go before you, not as a spectator but as the one who clears the way. I do not let you wander in uncertainty. I have already stepped into your tomorrow, leveling the rough places, lifting the lowly, straightening the crooked paths. What I've prepared for you is not random. It is the fruit of heavenly design. The plan I have for you is full of life, full of hope, full of meaning, not to make you survive, but to make you fully alive. So rest, not because everything is resolved, but because I hold everything in my hand. Close your eyes, not in fear, but in confidence. Breathe out everything not from me, and breathe in my peace. Let your soul know that no darkness can hide you from me. I am light, and that light still shines even while you sleep. And finally, my child, I am here, not someday, not when you're better, right now, in your room, in your thoughts, in your breath, in your vulnerability. I am speaking, I am touching, I am moving, and I will not depart. Sleep in peace, my beloved. Tomorrow is coming, and I have already prepared everything. Now, my child, lift up your head, open your heart, and offer me your prayer, not through ritual, but with sincere love from the depths of your spirit. Almighty God, keeper of all times and seasons, I bow before you and surrender to the wisdom of your ways. So many times I've wanted to rush ahead to force open doors you have not yet unlocked. But today I choose to trust that you know exactly the season my soul is in. Grant me spiritual eyes to discern the time for surrender and the time for action. When all is still, remind me that the roots of faith are growing deep. When I see no results, teach me to recognize that you are training me from within. Let me move in rhythm with your spirit so each step I take is no longer lost in confusion, but aligned with your eternal will. O God of the seasons, the one who writes every chapter of my life with golden ink of grace, I kneel in this very moment, though it seems like nothing is happening. I know this is when you are working the most. I surrender the need to understand and learn, instead to trust. I no longer want to drift with emotions or circumstances. Please shut every door you have not opened and fling wide everything you have already ordained in your will. Teach me to rest in you as the trees rest in winter, not outwardly active, yet inwardly full of life, preparing to bloom. Even if the night is long, even if the ground is hard, I will remain in you because I know true breakthrough is born of deep surrender. My beloved Father, the one who is never late and never in haste, today I come not to demand, but to learn how to wait in obedience. I often measure life by what I see, but you teach me that the most precious things are formed in what is unseen. Tear down every impatient thought, every old pattern, every comparison that stains my faith. Give me a tender heart, one that does not rebel when a season closes, and does not tremble when a new one begins. Father, reorder what is within me, just as you ordained before time began. I do not need to know everything, I only need to know that you are here and you are still working. Lord God, I thank you for your unwavering patience. When I fall, you do not abandon me. When I hesitate, you still wait. When I doubt, you do not revoke your promises. I know that if I stand here today, it is only because your hand has held me fast. Thank you for not letting me define myself by difficult seasons. Thank you for nights without answers, yet full of your presence. For days that seemed meaningless, but were in truth foundations for something great. You have always been faithful, and I know not a single tear has fallen in vain. Father, I thank you because you are a God of order, not confusion. Looking back, I see that nothing came too early or too late. Every moment was perfectly timed in the light of your wisdom. I thank you for every time you said not yet, for it protected me from things I was not ready for. I thank you for hidden seasons unseen by others, but seen by you, where you refined my soul not to hurt me, but to lift me higher. And now, as the new season arrives, I thank you that I did not give up. Loving Father, I offer thanks for all you have prepared long before I understood. Thank you that even when I was confused, you were arranging every detail. When I was slow, you did not rush me. When I wanted to quit, you lifted me up again. Thank you for your presence, which is more than enough even when the answers are not yet here. And when the appointed time comes, I will see that nothing was wasted, for everything you do is good. I thank you because you are perfect, and I find rest in the perfection of your plan. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.